But we've been here since 12:30, streaming, getting you ready, getting you prepared for this ice storm. Again, this is an ice storm. I gotta reiterate it, Brad. I know you've been saying it. I want to. Hey, look, we're gonna be on air for a while, so I want to say, Brad, for a little bit. This is an ice storm. This is serious.
Yeah, and I feel like we've done a pretty good job, Nick, but every time I'll see a social media post from a business or something, and they'll say, hey, here's our weekend snow plan. And I'm like, what? Yeah, there's no snow, okay? And I'm still getting questions about snow, which is crazy. Now, I will say this, Nick. There are a few flakes out there. It's just not going to be the main part of this. We anticipated some snow at the very beginning. I'm going to show you the radar because we're starting to see some of the first reports of stuff hitting the ground. Up in the mountains, I can tell you for sure it is snowing in Boone right now. I can for sure tell you it's snowing in Greensboro. And this is the funny thing about this storm, and this is something you'll have to get used to if you have an app and you look at your radar. You notice not a lot over Charlotte, but the airport is actually currently reporting sleet. I look at something that's called the ASOS, which is an automated reporting station out there, and they actually are reporting sleet currently at the airport. So we do have sleet falling out there, and you may have seen some sleet today. This is just kind of the beginning, though. This is the really light stuff. As we go through time, we will see this begin to pick up, especially, I think, after 7 or 8. If there's one thing I would tell you that's kind of new, it's even slower arriving than we thought yesterday. I thought 6 o'clock might be the time. It might be closer to like 7 or 8 o'clock now. So you've bought yourself a couple more hours to get ready. And the roads probably won't be bad until the heavy stuff comes in. But the part of the problem, I will tell you, though, when it does hit, it's going to stick. Because look at the temperatures. We're below freezing everywhere already right now. So whatever falls is not going to be melting unless there's brine or salt or other things on the road. So this is going to continue to go downhill the later we get into tonight. And especially once you get after, like, say, 9, 10 o'clock, I think that's when things pick up. Now, let's look at this system. It is huge. There's 2 distinct waves right now of snowfall and ice. One is just to our west. The other one is over Texas and parts of Oklahoma. I mean, it's a massive storm, Nick. I looked at the number of people under winter weather advisories, warnings, ice. It's like 200 million people.
Wow.
And again, that's population bias because it's the eastern part of the country. But from an aerial standpoint, just a coverage, we can show you the advisories, watches graphically. And this thing stretches from roughly New Mexico all the way to Maine. So it's just a huge area. And I've never seen such a widespread winter event across our area. And I'm sure you guys have talked about this. This has had a huge impact on the airlines, cancellations coming left and right. And it's not even because of what's happening at Charlotte. It's because of what's happening across the entire country, Nick.
Oh, and folks, I guess it's not just what happens overnight, but the days ahead. Because the thing about this, once it moves in, I mean, tomorrow I think everybody got the message, right? They're probably not going to do anything tomorrow. You're going to be stuck at home. You're going to see all this sleet and ice. And again, you want to keep rooting for sleet. I know it sounds weird. If you're a snow lover, you hate that because usually when it's snowing, you don't like sleet because it ruins the snow. But in this case, it's either sleet or ice. So if we're going to have the choice, I'm probably going to go with sleet because it will not mess up the power lines like freezing rain will. But if I look at the forecast, this is our Futurecast, by the way, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, 28 degrees and probably light to moderate freezing rain. That's going to be pretty dicey tomorrow, and that continues for most of the day. But what you mentioned, Nick, is the days after. Once this system moves out, we have an Arctic blast coming in, so it is not going to warm up like a typical Carolina winter storm where it's sunny and warm a couple days later. It's actually going to get colder than it is right now behind the storm with maybe single digits by Tuesday morning. So hopefully we don't get a lot of ice and there's not a lot of power outages because that could be really detrimental to a lot of people that try to get through a deep freeze without that heat. So folks, as you mentioned, that window expanded just a little bit.
Yeah.
What should folks, if you had to think of something off the top of your head, immediate thing they should do right now to get prepared?
So right now, I mean, because we're probably going to have power tonight. I don't see the power issues happening until the freezing rain kicks in, which will probably be during the day tomorrow. The thing about freezing rain, it's kind of a delayed thing. When it starts, the power doesn't go out. Usually it's when it starts to taper off because you kind of reach that critical threshold where the ice gets just heavy enough. And in past ice storms, sometimes the power starts going out when it stops. because the wind picks up and the branches start running into power lines. So you probably got a good 24 hours before the power outages really start to ramp up, which means do your laundry, wash your dishes, charge things now. If you're worried about the heat going out, I wouldn't crank the heat super high, but maybe turn it up a little bit tonight, get the house nice and warm in anticipation that maybe it'll go off tomorrow. That would be a good idea. So those are things you can do. And Nick, we saw the stores today. I don't know if you've been out and about, but propane is like impossible to find. It's like the lines for propane everywhere across our area is just massive. And you don't have to buy things for this necessarily. There are things you could, but there's DIY things you can do at home. You don't have to go out and get things like water. Like, I don't know why people are buying bottled water. Do you have water at your house right now? Put it in a bottle. If you're worried about losing it, there's no reason to go buy it. If you're worried about things freezing up, you can use towels. You can use things around the house to wrap pipes or to wrap spigots. So there are some DIY things that don't cost you anything and don't have to leave the house to actually get ready for.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be cost effective because I've heard some of the stories. I've seen it on social media, people spending hundreds of dollars on different things. I'm like, folks, we could do some of this stuff at home. I want to save you some money here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of it's just modifying your behavior. Like I said, you're going to wash your dishes and do your laundry this weekend anyways. Just change the time you do it. If you have a driveway that's like mine that's got a hill on it, maybe park the car at the bottom of the hill, not at the top. These are simple things that, just think about what's going to get super icy around your house and do something to mitigate that at home. My son today spent almost all day going to neighbor's house spreading, ice melt. He's got his little side hustle there. He was like, he bought a bunch and is going around. But a lot of people, he did some for free because he's like, I'm just helping people out because he mows lawns and stuff in our neighborhood. So he's like just trying to be a good neighbor. And it was crazy. The number of people said, yeah, come over and do mine. And just everyone in my neighborhood seemed to be getting ready. My neighbor, I saw him getting his gas cans filled in case he had to use it in his car and filled his car up with gas. So all those kind of last minute things. And I think a lot of people bought their groceries ahead of time. Thinking they might be stuck at home tomorrow. And let's face it, there's football on TV tomorrow too. So there's worse things than being stuck home on a Sunday and having to watch football, as long as you keep your power.
It's better this happened championship weekend versus sometime in February after the Super Bowl. All right, Brad, we got to save you now because we're going to be on for the next...
How many hours?
How many hours?
What time is it?
Yeah, what time is it? We're going to be on for a while, folks.